This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sob like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Here we go. Sorry about that. Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Big win, ladies and gentlemen, by the New York Knicks over the Los Angeles Clippers. 110-102 to keep themselves in the conversation for the play-in and even the playoffs. You know, that's the way to finish off the homestand. It wasn't a great homestand, but they finished it off with a win that looked like they were a desperate group. They looked like they knew that they had to get this win. So they played with desperation. They played with energy. They played with fight. They came out shooting from the top of the game. Right from the top of the game, ladies and gentlemen, Julius Randle showed that he was interested. He was in the game. He was focused. He knocked down his first three. RJ Barrett was hot from three. Evan Fournier was hot from three. And the Knicks took control of the game from the tip. Of course, throughout the game is going to fluctuate. There's no doubt about it. The Los Angeles Clippers made runs, but each time the Clippers made a run, the New York Knicks responded. They responded, and that's exactly what you want from this team. Obviously, the Los Angeles Clippers were down Kawhi Leonard. They're down Paul George. You know, they don't have the same firepower, but they got some vets on that team that know how to play. And in recent games, they've been able to come back. You heard them discussing on the telecast that they recently came back from down 24 points to beat the Philadelphia 76ers. But the New York Knicks weren't having it today, ladies and gentlemen. RJ Barrett had a very, very good basketball game, one of the best games of his Knicks career. He's been doing that lately. And Julius Randle, he played well today. To go along with RJ Barrett, you got RJ Barrett, 28 points. Julius Randle, 24 points. And Evan Fournier had 14 points. The type of performances that you need from this team. Mitchell Robinson was having a very good game. He finished with 8 points and 8 rebounds, and that was all in the first half of the game. Unfortunately, Mitchell Robinson, with an ankle injury, did not return to the game. Probably not going to play tomorrow night against Cleveland. We hope Mitchell Robinson gets better soon because the inside presence that he's been providing has been critical for this basketball team. But Nerlens Noel, he showed up and played today. He showed some flashes of offense. A little fadeaway jump shot, right? Showed some nice footwork in the paint to get out of trouble and then float it up. Another mid-range jump shot from the foul line. You know, the Knicks had something going in the water today, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Reddish made his debut, scored 2 points, grabbed a couple of rebounds. As a matter of fact, Cam Reddish had 2 points, 2 rebounds on the night. He only played about 5 minutes or so, Cam Reddish. But, you know, they're easing him into the lineup. We'll see how that turns out. No Kemba Walker today. He was out probably because the Knicks don't want to play him on back-to-back nights. So he didn't play today. He'll probably play against Cleveland tomorrow. And then, you know, what's it going to look like? What's the lineup going to look like then? You know, that's going to be the question. But the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, get the win 110-102 over the Los Angeles Clippers. A lot to talk about with this basketball game. We're going to go ahead and break this thing down. We got Steph in the building. We got Andy in the building. And we're going to go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get some quick intros. We'll look at the box score and then break it down. All right, Steph, how you doing today?
I'm good. Salute to you, Sim, Andy, the chat. This was a good game for us. Just quick, I know we'll get into it. I liked RJ's continued approach to the game. He's aggressive. He's in transition. He's strong. He's rebounded for us. He's playmaking for us. And his approach is the same every game. It wasn't a very efficient game today. I think he was 9 for 24. That's okay. We need the points. And the same with Julius. His approach is not always the same, but today it was. I thought he was aggressive. That Julius who wants to come out and drive with the intent to pass is not the Julius we need. He'll only take 10 shots. Once he's doing that, he's only going to get 4, 5, 6, 9 shots up, and we need more than that. And today, I thought he was aggressive, and he responded to the defense, and that's when he passed. So, if he could keep that up, he'll play better down the stretch, and that'll bode well for us.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, what up, Sam? What up, Steph? What up to the chat? Happy to be on as usual. Happy that the game was early for you guys, but it was perfect time for me. So it's so I'm happy about that. I can join the post-game show. Yes, Sam. I always feel better, like Steph said before we hopped on live. Fans always feel better after a W, right? And this stretch that we had at home, we wanted the Knicks to get at least a couple of W's before we go on this mad, stretch, before us. Yeah, but listen, each and every one, every win I'm gonna take. So I'm happy about this one.
Yeah, me too. I'm very happy about this one. And listen, the Knicks have been playing better on the road than they've been playing at home. So maybe they'll get out there on the road and pull off a couple of surprise wins. Looking at the box score tonight, RJ Barrett led the team with 28 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. Shot 37.5% from the field, but he shot 60% from the three-point line, and he was 7 for 7 from the free throw line. All right, so look, that's big numbers for RJ Barrett. He played 42 minutes and 36 seconds. Julius Randle tonight, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. He shot 53% from the field and 43% from the three-point line. He was 83% from the free throw line. He did have 7 turnovers tonight.
Jesus.
7 turnovers. There were a couple of them that were passes that whoever he passed it to didn't catch. And so that goes to him. But even if you take away 2, that's still 5 turnovers on the night for Julius Randle. Mitchell Robinson, of course, he didn't play in the second half. 8 points, 8 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson. Alec Burks, 10 points, 4 assists. Evan Fournier, 14 points, 4 rebounds. Emmanuel Quickly had 8 points and 6 assists. Some very nice passes by Emmanuel Quickly. He found Julius Randle. He had some nice looks tonight. Yeah. Found Obi Toppin. Nerlens Noel, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block. Quentin Grimes, 6 points. Cam Reddish, 2 points, 2 rebounds. Obi Toppin, 2 points. No rebounds. 1 assist for Obi Toppin. Right, and Taj Gibson had to play about 5 minutes. More than likely, his minutes are going to go up tomorrow night in Cleveland. As for the Los Angeles Clippers, they were led by Reggie Jackson. And listen, Reggie Jackson, man, when he can step up when he needs to. He stepped up today. Step up when he needs to. 26 points, 5 assists from Reggie Jackson. Zubac had 17 points and 14 rebounds. He played some good basketball today. Some nice post moves in the paint. Luke Kennard, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 40% from the three-point line, 4 for 10 from the three-point line. Brandon Boston. That kid I like Brandon Boston. I like what I've seen from him. It's 13 points, 3 rebounds for Brandon Boston. Marcus Morris, 4 points. Nicholas Batum, 6 points. Amir Coffey, 2 points. This was probably the best all-around game that we've seen from the Knicks. I don't know if I want to say this season, but in recent memory, right? Over the last couple of weeks, probably the best all-around game. This was kind of the team that we thought we would get coming into the season. You know, Julius Randle scoring points, getting assists, turning the ball over. You know, R.J. Barrett or Evan Fournier, we wasn't sure who was going to be, you know, the next guy in charge, but it's looking like right now R.J. Barrett is the main guy in charge out there on the floor. You know, but getting production from those guys, Mitchell Robinson rebounding the basketball and being active, strength from the bench. You know, we got it all today. You know what I mean? I think the question is, are we able to, you know, rinse and repeat? You know what I mean?
Right.
Can we rinse and repeat? But let's talk about Julius Randle. We'll get to R.J. Barrett, of course. He was the star of the show today. But let's talk about Julius Randle. You know, do you think, you know, he was able to maybe let the dust settle and he can see clearly now and he's able to play? Or is he still going through it? Steph, what do you think?
It's hard to say, Sam, with Randle. He's such an emotional guy. And the game is going well, he goes well. The game is not going well, he's not getting the calls. He gets really frustrated. And I didn't get a chance to talk about the last game where he just seemed, in my opinion, just to be out of control and out of sync. So I think the jury is still out for Randle. And this is the way he's been pretty much throughout his Knicks career. I would love to see him just be stable mentally, emotionally, and in his approach to the game. Even if he's inefficient, I mean, that's fine. But lately, I feel like he's second guessing himself. Like one day he comes out like tonight and he's playing in the flow of the game and taking what the defense is giving him. And then other times he comes out like the last game. He's done that a few times where he's like making up in his mind, I'm just going to pass today. Like, I'm not going to be aggressive offensively. I'm just going to be a facilitator. So I hope you're right. I hope, you know, he's back to himself, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say. Andy, any thoughts on Julius Randle?
Yeah, listen, this game, he at least was efficient, right? Because 8 out of 15, that's good efficiency as far as, you know, one of your top players over 50%. And if that wouldn't be the case, you know, fans would be on Julius again and again. And I said it on Josh's show. Listen, I don't think that's helping him. I don't think, you know, I understand. I'm not, you know, asking Knicks fans just to clap and sugarcoat it, right? But I don't think, you know, the boos are going to help him. I don't think, you know, the cheers are going to help him even at this point, because I think he's in that, you know, mental kind of a void that he needs to reset it somehow and just come back, you know, and be the same player that he was last year. And like Steph said, he's second guessing himself. He's not taking the shots that he would take last season, and you know, and he's not making those shots. You know, you see the lack of confidence. He you know,
yeah.
It's for me, I think physically he's fully healthy and stuff like that. I think, you know, it's up in his head, you know, the whole problem with Julius Randle this season.
Yeah, I think today he was taking his shot a little bit quicker, right? He wasn't hesitating, wasn't thinking. You know, he was just taking whatever shot became available to him, and that's the way that you want him to play. You know, instead of trying to figure things out. Now, I think it helps that Los Angeles wasn't really playing a zone; they were playing straight up man defense, and then sending somebody to do a hard trap, right? And that's probably something that he's used to. So, you know, he was able to play through it, I think. You know, he didn't have to think as much. I think the Knicks get in trouble. He gets in trouble when he really does start thinking. I did want to ask about this. I seen a tweet during the game, I think it was in the first half, where Tom Thibodeaus called a timeout and he was drawing up plays in the timeout. I don't know what part of the game this was or what time it was, but they said it was a reporter. They said Julius Randle was kind of wandering around the court during the timeout, not in the huddle, you know, went over, you know, said something to his family, you know, then the Knicks resumed play. I didn't see it. Obviously, there was probably a commercial or something like that. But your thoughts about that, Steph?
That's what I'm talking about, Sam. I didn't see that either. Something is off with Randle. Something is off. If that's the case, if that is the case, I just felt like something is off with him. Was it that whole thing with the fans? He was always an emotional guy. Don't get me wrong, always an emotional guy. But that fiasco, if you want to call it, with the fans, is that something that's kind of throwing him off even more? Because that's something Elf used to do, right? Sit on the end of the bench and things like that. He's one of the best players on the team. Like, that's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
If it did happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Sim, I'm not gonna lie. I saw this in a couple of previous games. Tibbs is, getting these guys in a huddle. He's drawing up a play, and Julius is literally standing, or even if he's sitting, he's not watching on the board that what Tibbs, is drawing up. So for me, body language is one thing, but this kind of a thing is kind of disrespectful to your coach, right? And I'm not cool with it because you have young guys around you and they're looking up to you. And you might think that they're not looking at you, but if you're the guy on the team, those guys, that Obi, he's looking at like, listen, I'm listening to coach. I'm waiting for the play to be drawn up for him. And he's not even, respecting us and the coach. So, that might be a problem. Like you said, Sim, always, we're not in the training, facility with those guys. We don't know what's the atmosphere there. We don't know what's the vibe around in the locker room, right? But, seems like there might be a disconnect between the coach and Randle. And, I think that's really bad because Tibbs' offense is so heavily based around Julius that he just can't flip the switch and give the guys, a 5-page, new playbook.
Right.
Just learn it for tomorrow, right? That there's not going away from Julius. That's what I was also talking about, that it's not going to be easy to trade him. And even if we do, we're going to be like basically a training camp team because, cutting Randle, we saw, when he didn't get the, chance when he was in the protocols. We didn't have him 2 or 3 games, and the offense was like a pickup game, basically. So this is not an easy point to, to put your team around and just, switch him, whatever. I think, and I really think that Tibbs should consider it, at least adjusting the offense a little bit so it wouldn't be so heavily based around Julius. And that would probably unlock him a little bit more because, teams are ganging up. They know what the plays are going to be versus Julius. They know what the defense should be versus him to cut his, efficiency out. So, no matter if he's here or if he's not, we should at least tweak the offense a little bit, adjust it, tweak it. I'm not calling for the whole new playbook. I would love that, but I know that's not going to happen during the season. But, at least adjust it to make it easier for the whole team.
Right. So this is the tweet. It's from Steve Popper. He said the Knicks are huddled up in the timeout. Tibbs jotting down game plans. Julius was wandering around the court, then went and talked with his family, just a little strange. He's saying, that transaction is a little strange. Then he said Randle then went over to Thibodeaus, bumped fists while Robinson was at the foul line. The only thing I'll say is, who knows what the discussion is between Thibodeaus and Randle, the players. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes coaches allow players to do certain things for certain reasons. You just never know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll just watch it. I don't want to read a whole lot into it. Just watch it. See what transpires from there. If we continue to see things like that happening, and if Tom Thibodeau reacts in any kind of way.
But I think his lack of reaction may be an issue. I mean, fans have been talking about this for a while in terms of Tibbs not holding Randle accountable. Now, I'm not going off the deep end like other people that say that Tibbs should treat everybody the same. I think that, some players have longer leashes than others. I don't have a problem with that. It happens with all coaches. But if you're not giving the effort, there's nothing wrong with sitting a guy down. If a guy is not in the huddle and you're noticing that a few times, you don't have to do it in the game. And maybe he did do it. It's nothing wrong with, saying, listen, hey, people are looking at you, people are watching, and other than that, we need you in the huddle so you can know what's going on. So I'm not sure if, I remember somebody tweeted that Tibbs had issues with Cat holding him accountable. And so maybe that's something he's, reluctant to do this time around. I'm not sure, but I just think there's certain things with Randle that I would like Tibbs to just address with him if he hasn't already.
Yeah.
So just to add on top of it, I think I saw Jonathan Macri say, and I'm not sure if he's this year he's a reporter, the beat reporter for like he gets the interviews inside of the locker room and stuff like that. But I saw a report from him that Tibbs is slowly growing tired of Julius's antics. So we're going to see how that will develop because I think it can be squandered easily. They just have a man-to-man talk, one-on-one in Tibbs's office. And we're going to see, which route we'll go after that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the thing is, you're right. Things like this can be settled most of the time pretty easily. You just got to do it,
Right.
We'll continue to watch and see how it goes. That being said, Julius Randle played well today. 24 points. What was it, 7 rebounds, something like that? He played well, but had a good basketball game today. So
efficient as well.
Efficient basketball game. An efficient basketball game, and he was engaged in the basketball game as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? So hopefully, and that's 9 rebounds from Julius Randle, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. So hopefully, this is the start of a resurgence for Julius Randle. All right, taking a look at the team comparison for the day. Of course, the Knicks win the game 110-102. They dominated the glass, especially with Mitchell Robinson out there on the floor. The Knicks dominated the glass today, and we need the Knicks to do this on a regular basis, especially when they're missing shots. Now, 52 rebounds for the Knicks, 40 for the Los Angeles Clippers, and it looks like what I have up on the screen, just a little bit different. I'm going to refresh this, all right, so that we can get the right numbers up there. There we go. 52 rebounds for the Knicks, 40 for the Los Angeles Clippers, 26 assists today for the Knicks. All right, that's a nice number for this team. Nice number. 26 assists, 20 assists for the Clippers, 6 steals for the Knicks, 7 for the Clippers. 4 blocks for the Knicks, 6 for the Clippers, both teams with 12 turnovers. The Knicks didn't shoot entirely well from the field. Both teams shot 43%, but the Knicks shot 44% from the three-point line, while the Clippers only shot 34%. And for a change, the Knicks made 84% of their free throws. 84%. Man, do we need that. 66.7% for the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers, they won the battle of the paint, 38 points in the paint for the Clippers, 34 for the Knicks. The Knicks had 21 second chance points, 10 for the Clippers. And fast break points, the Knicks had 13, while the Clippers had 9 fast break points. Again, the Knicks were led by R.J. Barrett. The Clippers were led by Reggie Jackson. And scoring, 28 for Barrett, 26 for Reggie Jackson. 14 rebounds for R.J. Barrett, 14 for Zubac, 6 assists for Eric Bledsoe for the Clippers. Emmanuel quickly has 6 assists for the Knicks, and so did R.J. Barrett have 6 assists. And Zubac had 3 blocks for the Clippers, 1 block for Alec Burks for the New York Knicks. Let's talk about R.J. a little bit. Now that we've got Julius Randle out the way. Andy?
Sim, I just wanted to say that Mitch just tweeted, "I'm all good, just a little tweak."
Okay, so, hopefully, good. Hopefully he plays. I still don't know if they're going to play him tomorrow night. They might let him rest, but, hopefully he's able to go. Or
I don't know if we have that luxury, sir.
I know.
Versus Cavs big lineup, that might be an issue.
I know, man. We've been playing musical centers all season long.
Yeah.
All season long, we're playing musical centers, man. Mitch is in, Nerlens Noel is out. Nerlens Noel comes back, Mitch goes out. You know what I mean? And then it happens all over again. Musical centers all season long. But RJ Barrett today, really good basketball game. Aggressive. You know, he's playing aggressive, engaged basketballs, taking it to the cup. Took 24 shots. Normally he doesn't take that many shots, right? But I'm glad that he is, and I'm glad that he took these many shots. And when he missed a few, you know, he didn't cower down or anything like that. They continued to go to RJ Barrett, and he's attacking. You know what I mean? Playing good, strong basketball. Andy, your thoughts on RJ?
Yes, listen, like you said, he take 24 shots. I think that he's trying to take the weight of the offense off of Julius as a good teammate. We see this by, you know, the disparity of the shot attempts. I'm happy that he is going to the hoop strong, and he's trying to bully himself in when he has a small defender on him. That's good sign, but also that's kind of an easy thing to defend, right? If teams are gonna read, you know, when is he driving to the hole, they can just, you know, get that weak side defense, you know, shot blocker in there, and he's gonna get blocked more often, right? But still, listen, 9 out of 24, that's not that bad. And he had almost 30 points, right? So you can't argue with a game like he had. And listen, despite Fournier having a good shooting night because he was efficient, I think Grimes was kind of bad, right? Because he missed plenty of shots from what I remember. But, you know, RJ also passed out the ball, and I was happy with it. I'm actually pretty sure that he's going to finish this season with at least one game with 10 assists, because when the offense, you know, he's going to have the offense with the ball on the offense with him a little bit more. He will need to adjust his game and pass out, you know, out of those drives a little bit more. Currently, I think still defenses are, you know, knowing that he's going to drive, but they're not adjusting the whole defense like they do versus Randle, right? So he's not getting doubles, and you know, under the hoop, sometimes a weak side defender, you know, is trying to help out, but he's still strong and can drive to the hoop. So you know, I would love for him to develop a mid-range shot, like around the free throw line. That would also open up something for him. But, you know, he's still young, and I can't expect, you know, everything going my way
all at once
with the development of young guys.
But, you know, you mentioned the double teams. I think part of the reason why RJ doesn't see the same type of double teams is because of where he gets the basketball. See,
yeah.
Julius
and he's
Randle,
on the move. And he's on the move, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Julius Randle gets the basketball in that mid-post area. It's easy to send a double team there. RJ normally gets the basketball, like you said, on the move, or he's out on the wing. And if you send a double team when a player's out on the wing, you know, they've got that entire floor in front of them. They're already facing the floor. They're facing the basket. Julius Randle, that double team comes a lot when he has his back towards the basket. Right? So with RJ, if they send a double team, you can see that double team coming, and you're going to see who's open right away. So I think the way that they send those double teams or lack of double teams towards RJ is because of where he catches the basketball. I think that plays a big portion or a big part in if they're going to send a double team or not, which is obviously a good thing for the Knicks and a good thing for RJ Barrett, you know. And, you know, maybe it's something that the offensive coaches for the Knicks have recognized as well. Like, hey, you know, they don't really send a double team in RJ's way. So let's see if we can get RJ penetrating to the basket. And he's getting more crafty. The more experience he's getting, more crafty around the rim and creating
Yeah, and sometimes
shots.
he stops those drives, right? And pivots out and take that, you know, little baby jumper. So,
Yeah.
you know, him having, you know, 2-3 options on the drive is also, you know, great for him.
Yeah. Steph, any thoughts on RJ?
Sam, I don't know what else to add. I just like the way he's playing. I like his approach to the game. To Andy's point, and I don't know if we can expect so much so soon, but if he can get that right side of the court going the way he got that left side, and sometimes pull up for the mid range as opposed to going all the way, he's just going to be unstoppable. Like, he really knows how to use his body. He knows how to ward guys off. He has that long wingspan. Yeah, he's playing very well right now.
Yeah. What did you think about the technical foul he got today?
I mean, I was okay with it. It's not something that happens all the time. He was frustrated. He let the official know, and that lets me know he was in it. He was wound up. He was in this game, really engaged. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I was really good with it. I kind of take it as a sign of growth, with RJ, that he's taking more ownership of the team. You know what I mean? And feeling like, I'm going to have the ball in my hands a lot more now. And I think this is probably an indication. I'm going to have the ball in my hands a lot more. You're not going to just keep letting people hack me up. I'm going to let you know about it. You know what I mean? Now, the one thing I don't like is that he took a foul to talk to the refs. I love that he got upset. Now, I don't care about the tech, but, in the end, depending on the way the game went, that foul could have came back to bite the Knicks, right? If you needed him on the floor, but he had 4 fouls or 5 fouls. But I guess he had to get it out right then and there. You know what I mean? He had to get it out right then and there. He wanted to stop the fast break so he can scream at the referees right now. You know what I mean? Andy, your thoughts on that play?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sim, 100%. I would add only one thing, that I think Cam, being his friend from college, I don't think RJ want to be, proclaimed as a soft guy with his, teammate from college. And he was like, that may have been a little bit of an edge for RJ to, like, listen, we're going to try to take this team over, whatever, or, over the hump, not over Julius, right? Over the hump and get this W, play with energy. And, since Cam was there, maybe they pump each other up before the games, so stuff like that. So maybe that was a little bit extra emotion from RJ, but I'm actually cool with it. And listen, it was his first technical foul in this season. We got game 47 or something like that. Listen, he should have more.
How do you think having Cam on the team impacts RJ's thinking or his confidence? I know when I go someplace and I have a friend there with me, I feel better. Yeah. Right? I feel like I got somebody, to back me up, anywhere that I'm going to the store, or if I'm going to some place that's kind of uncharted territory that I've never been, I like to have somebody there with me. Do you think this gives RJ a little bit more confidence about the team? Or not about the team, but about his role on the team and being more vocal, right? Standing up for himself, not being quiet. What do you think, Steph?
It's possible. I haven't seen a change in his game since Reddish has been here, but maybe that technical foul, maybe maybe that is him feeling more comfortable to express himself and say what he wants to say to the officials as well.
Yeah, I think it could work that way. You know what I mean? Just having somebody there. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, and Sim and Steph, we gotta wait to see them both on the court on the same time. That's gonna be like, listen, if they just call up pick and roll play for each other, that's gonna be, I'm gonna be smiling that play because I know that they're trying to show, maybe not show off, right? But they're trying to, play off each other and get one another involved and stuff like that. I'm gonna love that play.
Yeah, Cam Reddish played 5 minutes and 23 seconds today. Did you want to see
with the
more
bench
of them?
guys?
Yeah, with the bench guys. Did you want to see more of them in the second half, Andy?
Yeah, listen, I think I understand it's Tibbs, and we know his rotations are set, and I understand that Cam needs to, learn the offense and stuff like that. but we saw Quentin have a really bad shooting game. He still played, good defense, right? But you could still like cut, Quentin's 2 minutes and give it to extra for Cam. But, I'm not that much of upset. I understand that, he just came back from an injury and Tibbs needs to, put him in the game a little bit slower. He's not going to get 20 minutes next game. Maybe though, if he's going to catch fire, soon, and he's going to be taking shot by shot by shot, Tibbs, not going to take him out. But I think, Tibbs is that kind of a coach that needs to see what he can do in the practice facility to let him play on the court.
Yeah. Steph, did you want to see more from Cam today?
I was okay with it. I think in the first half he played with Grimes, and I think RJ was playing well. So I think he just left RJ in with that second unit. And to Andy's point, yeah, he could have cut down Grimes minutes, but I think that's just too much tinkering. I think just putting RJ in for Cam and giving him those minutes because he was playing well was fine.
Yeah, I wanted to see more, just because I wanted to see him play. I understood the fact, I understand what Thibodeaus was thinking here. What I mean? He's just getting here. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. I don't want to jolt the lineups that we already have out there, those type of things. And really, for all intents and purposes, Thibodeaus might have put him in just to get the monkey off the bat. You know what I mean? Because people are already clamoring to see him on the floor. So it's like, okay, let's get him in here, let him play a couple of minutes. And then we can get that whole thing out the way, right? And then let him, build up his minutes within the team. I mean, I thought when he came in, we only got to see him for 5 minutes. I thought he played some good defense, had a nice take to the basket. He did clank the 1 3-point shot. I did notice that they didn't go to him a lot, probably because he doesn't know the playbook that well yet. You know what I'm saying? So it was, like there were times when I thought Quickly could have passed him the ball or whoever could have passed him the ball. But I really think that just had to do with the fact that he's new and hasn't been there yet or hasn't been there long enough.
Yes, I already saw a tweet that, Cam is going to ask for a trade if he's going to have to play with Quickly. So...
Right, because he's so Obi focused. I'm like,
yeah, he's like looking for Obi. Like, man, I was like, he basically is only looking for Obi when he's on the court. So I was laughing at that tweet hard.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting though, because if Kemba comes back tomorrow night, Cam Reddish may not play at all. Right, he may not play at all because. That means Burks is going to go back to the second unit because Kemba's going to be in the starting lineup. Where does Cam come in? You know what I mean? Unless he comes in for Obi, but where does Cam come in? So he may not get any playing time tomorrow.
Yeah. Not to mention if D-Rose gets back, Sim. That's going to be...
Right. And, he requested the trade so that he can go to a team where he can get a bigger opportunity. And he already gets caught in this same cycle. It doesn't seem like he's going to be the kind of guy that causes a big problem, right? They said in Atlanta, he requested a trade in the summer. Before the season started, he requested a trade. Still came in, worked out, played his minutes. When he wasn't ready to play, sat on the bench. Played when he got in the game, and nobody really knew that he requested a trade until he got traded. So, I don't think he's going to cause any kind of a problem. But then again, you don't trade for a guy if you're not going to, you don't trade for a guy like him right now if you're not going to play him. So I think the Knicks have intentions on playing him. It's just figuring out how these lineups work. But hey, he made his debut, and I'm anxious to see what else he can bring to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Steph.
If Kemba is back tomorrow, Sam, I hope he's coming off the bench. Say what you want about Burks and not being a point guard, and he's not. But that starting unit was flowing 8-3 before Kemba came back. And I'm not saying it's Kemba's fault at all, and I don't think it is. I just think it threw off the chemistry. They had something going with that first unit, and Kemba coming back kind of changed that. So, and here we go. He didn't play today. We got the win. And again, I'm not saying it's Kemba's fault. I just think that he needs to be playing with that second unit. There's just something about him being in that starting unit. I don't think it's his defense. I don't think it's that. It's just we don't flow as well.
Yeah. I was getting ready to bring up the same thing. You look at the way the starting unit played today. They had chemistry. They looked comfortable. You bring Kemba back in. It's like, you keep moving and sliding things around. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, because certain players can play, cannot play. Now, Mitchell Robinson may not play, so Nerlens Noel may end up in the starting lineup.
Right.
I agree. Let him come off the bench. It would be a small bench then, right? Because you got IQ, and it would be Kemba. And then Grimes is like 6'5", but with IQ and Kemba is going to be small. But yeah, I know, maybe let him rock a little bit, see what happens, and just bring him off the bench. I don't know. I think he's probably going to start him. Andy, any thoughts?
Yes, I peeped on Guillermo's show a little bit earlier, and I think it was Nick that brought up a stat that when RJ is on the floor with Kemba, we score like minus 12.6 points per 100 possessions. So that's a pretty big number to be on a minus. And I'm with Steph. I'm not sure that it's Kemba's defense, something like that. I just think, him needing the ball in his hands to be whatever efficient wise, right? Because if you're not going to give Kemba the ball, he's not going to give you nothing, right? So if you're not going to be playing him as the ball handler, him playing off the ball with Julius, and Evan Fournier and stuff like that, that's not going to work. So, probably keeping Kemba playing him off the bench might be, something wiser to do, because, quickly he can play off the ball. So, Kemba should be playing probably the D-Rose role, since D-Rose is not here. And let's hope that will work.
Yeah. Have we seen Kemba and IQ play together on the floor? Yeah.
Well, it was sporadically, if it was there. So,
yeah. We're learning what the team looks like with the ball in RJ's hand more, letting him create a little bit more. When Kemba comes in and plays with RJ, RJ has the ball in his hands less, right? Because it's Kemba and Julius.
Right.
With Burks, I think the familiarity is there. And I don't want to say surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly, but with Burks, when he comes in as the point guard, he's not looking to shoot as much. He's looking to get things going and get things started. He's not the natural playmaker. But I don't know if Kemba is either. Maybe he's a little bit more of a playmaker, but right now it's just not working. And things going with the way things are going with RJ right now, I wouldn't want to mess it up. Let's see how it plays out. You still have him at your disposal to put him in the game if you don't like the way something is looking. Speaking of Kemba Walker, but we'll see how that goes tomorrow night as the Knicks go to Cleveland, right? They're in Cleveland, right? As they begin, I guess they start this road trip. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, we're going to talk about them a little bit later on, but they're a good team. They're a good team, tough team to beat. We'll see what that looks like tomorrow. But any issues, there's always going to be questions about Tom Thibodeau and his rotations. As soon as I came into the chat, I seen, Cam Reddish 5 minutes, Obi Toppin 7 minutes, and Julius Randle played 40 and RJ Barrett played 42. Any issues? Do you have any issues about Tom Thibodeau's rotations tonight? Steph, I'll start with you.
I didn't. We were 0-3 the last 3 games. He going for the win. Randle was shooting efficient. RJ wasn't as efficient, but he was making his baskets. And like you said, he was shooting well from the line, well from the 3-point line. He was going for the win. Those two guys was cooking, and he wanted to keep them in as much as he could. So I don't have any problems with it tonight.
Yeah, me either. I don't have any problems with it. Andy?
Sim, I don't think any Knicks fan can justify Tibbs' rotation in this game. Listen, the whole Clippers team on the plus minus had minuses, and on the Knicks, I think the whole team basically had a plus. On maybe Grimes because he was shooting bad, but he had a minor minus. And when we jumped to that lead, we stuck with the lead basically through the whole game. Yeah. So you can't say that Tibbs messed something up, put a bad squad on the court at the same time because we didn't lose the lead. So right. I don't think Knicks fans can try to blame even Tibbs on this.
Yeah,
on this.
You're right. The entire Clippers team was in the minus.
Yeah,
and the only person.
He adjusted the players, versus and Tyronn Lue. Sorry, Sim, just to break up. Tyronn Lue ain't a bad coach as we were thinking that he is. He had LeBron in Cleveland and stuff like that, but he's growing to be one of the better coaches in the league.
Yeah. What's his name? Nicholas Batum said Ty Lue sent him home from practice one day because he didn't shoot the ball. Because he passed up a shot. Said he sent him home from practice. Yeah, Quentin Grimes was the only player on the Knicks who was in the negative when we're talking about plus minus. He had a -1.
Yeah.
-1. Yeah, let me get your phone call. Call you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, man, this is Pro Amp. And calling. Uncle Fulio was tweeting some things out, kind of got me heated a little bit. Had to go to exchange with him real quick, so that's why I'm calling right now. Because he hyped me up real quick. But yeah. But talking about the game just for a second, I'm happy that they won. Yeah, I have no problems with their rotations. Tibbs is whatever he thinks is going to give him a win. That's what he's going to go with. But I'm not going to have rose-colored glasses on. I'm not. So, you guys started off with Julius in the beginning of your live stream. So I just want to go back there for a second.
Okay.
I just want to talk about that because that's been on my mind. I've been thinking about it, for the past few days. I think we need to trade him. And the reason why I'm saying that is I don't think we're going to be better, if we trade him, but I don't think we're going to be better if we keep him. And the reason why I say that is because, he's probably a number 3. He's not a number 1. He's probably not number 2. He's probably number 3. But can he be a number 3? Can he shoot the 3 as a number 3? Can he play defense as a number 3? Does he have the motor as a number 3? Does he have the attitude to even be a number 3 after he was a number 1 for the past couple, 3 years on this team? I don't think so. I don't see him being able to do that. Can he play off the ball? And the ball doesn't go through him, and it may not go through him for the past, next 5, possessions because we have a number 1 and we have a number 2 that's doing it. I don't see it. I really don't. So I think that he has to go in order for us to make another step. Can RJ be a number 2? Not number 2. Can RJ play off the ball? I've seen him do it. I don't think I've ever seen Randle be able to do it. I don't even think he has the mental. In New York, I don't think he could do it.
So you preface that by saying in New York because he's done it throughout his career. Those teams, where those teams go? He's done something. He wasn't shooting good from 3. No, what I'm saying is he was second or third fiddle. I tend to think that Julius Randle wants somebody else to be the number 1 guy on this team.
But his game can't sustain not having the ball in his hands going through him.
See, I disagree with that. We've seen the Knicks win when he's only taken 7 shots or 9 shots. We've seen him.
Sorry to interrupt you, man, because I'm sorry. I'm not going to be on here long. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
but I've also seen the Knicks be mediocre Well,
Right.
with him being, I've also seen the Knicks be mediocre when he's
but
not
let me ask you this.
taking a lot of shots.
Let me ask you this. Is that his fault that the team is mediocre with him not taking a lot of shots, or is it the construction of the team? Right? Because if he's had games where he's not taking a lot of shots and he can force it, right? To me, that says if there's somebody else on the team who can take those shots in those type of situations, he will let them take those shots and he'll step aside and do it. I think that he can do that. It's just with the makeup of this team, the ball has to go through Randle a lot because of the players that we have. If we get players who are better than him, I think he can play. He rebounds the ball well.
That he does do that well.
He can get assists. We've seen that he can pass the basketball, right? And when he's motivated, he can play defense.
Now and then.
Right? So I do believe that he can do things. You know, I've seen people say if Randle's not scoring, he doesn't do anything else. And that's a complete fabrication of the truth. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. That is a fabrication of the truth. He does rebound and he can pass now and then.
And that's where I'm saying that he can be. I would disagree with saying now and then. You know, he has trouble passing out of double teams. But, you know, someone who can average 5 to 7 assists a game isn't someone who's doing it now and then.
Before I get off.
Hold up, my man. Hold up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Hold up.
Yeah, someone who's doing it consistently on, 5 to 6, 7 assists a game, I don't think that's a now and then passer. He has trouble in certain situations, but I think he does enough other things in the game where if you get someone better than him, he can still play with that person. And I think he wants somebody on the team to be better than him.
Okay, but then that also limits then who we can get that's better than him. Because let's say we get a center that's better than him. Because personally, I think the team, the way they structured everything, they're trying to go after Embiid when he's a free agent, in a year and a half. Or, that's what I think, but I could be wrong, whatever. But what I'm saying is that just limits who we can get that's better than him. Because let's say we get a center that's better than him, he can't be on the 3-point, you know what I'm saying? Because his 3-point percentage isn't up there. That just means that we have to get wings and he clogs up the center.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, depending on who, obviously, they're going to try to structure the team the best way with or without Randle. We'll see where they go. What's your name again?
My name is Pro-Amp, man.
Pro-Amp, appreciate your call, man. Thank you for your time.
All right, dude.
All right. This whole thing about, when people say that he can't play with someone better, I just disagree. I think right now this is the situation. And, if you got a player that's better than him, and right now RJ seems to be becoming better than him, and I don't see there being a problem out there between the two. In my opinion, I don't see it. Maybe somebody else does, but, RJ took 25 shots today. You know what I mean? And, it's been happening several games over the past week and a half where RJ's taking the most shots and, Randle is either off or hasn't taken shots, but he still rebounded the basketball, still passed the basketball well. We would like to see better effort on defense in certain situations. You know what I mean? And, whatever's going on with him and the coach or the team or whatever it is, obviously that needs to be remedied too. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think, he's like, oh, if you get another number one guy or get a number one guy, I'm out of here. I don't think it's that type of thing. Andy?
Mm-mm. Yes, and because I got to bounce, I just want to, tell the caller, please submit your trade proposal from fansball.com to me or Josh on Twitter. We would love to see what you can get for Julius in your trade proposal. We're going to say if it's realistic, and we're going to have, at least a couple of minutes to talk about it. So if that's going to make really the Knicks, better with that trade.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, Andy, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time. And, because I know it's late. Guys. I know it's late over this. What, 10 o'clock? Getting ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, almost 11. Almost 11.
Yeah, getting ready for the work day over there. All right, Andy.
Yeah.
Talk to you later, man. Yeah, I don't know. People. Obviously, people are always gonna. We're gonna get that all the time. People want to trade them, but
Right.
we'll see what happens and how that goes.
Yep.
I don't know. Let me get to this super chat really quick. Johnny P said Tibbs needs to realize and understand this team flows well with the offense running through RJ. Julius will get his points. RJ's money, let the kid play. But I think that's been happening. Right? There's still going to be times when the ball is in Randle's hands, and sometimes there's going to be, or some games he's going to have the ball in his hands more than others. But I think it's been happening. RJ's had the ball in his hands a lot, and it's been working. And I think that the Knicks are going to continue to stick with that philosophy for at least for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Because it has been. Because it's been going well. Let me get to another phone call here.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because
call it, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please. Looks like
it's going well.
It's Marvin.
Marvin. What's going on, Marvin? Can you turn that down in the back, please?
Where you're from, please. Looks like it's going well.
It's Marvin.
Marvin.
Hey, what's going on, Sam?
Marvin, can you turn that?
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, anytime, as soon as, because it can come right through as soon as I pick up. But I appreciate it, man. What's going on with you?
Okay, yeah. Hey, I just wanted to call in. I was listening to your last caller, and I'm not going to hold you long this time, man. You remember I called in earlier, and I was addressing the situation. It ain't necessarily trading Randle. It's putting somebody, on the side of him to make him better, man. He definitely will adapt to that. I think he'd be okay with it. But on tonight's game, I did want to comment on something, guys. I don't know if all of you guys checked it out. Something that I have been stressing to you guys about Tibbs. Now, you guys are in a back-to-back, right? Mm-hmm. You give Barrett 43 minutes and Randle 40 minutes. Now, just here recently, this 3-game losing streak that you guys had, you had a couple of back-to-backs in there. He played those guys heavy minutes then. This is what I'd be talking about Tibbs. He does play for the win, and I heard your guest, your person there saying that he wanted this win. I understand that, but you have to live for a full season, guys. You got problems with Rose, and you got problems with Kemba right now due to over minutes. Now, I'm serious. These last 3 games, I heard you guys really getting on the Knicks about them losing those 3 home games. Well, 2 of them was back-to-back, and he played a lot of minutes. This makes a big – you playing Cleveland tomorrow. Those guys are big, and you playing a back-to-back. Now, hopefully it doesn't happen, but these 43 minutes and 40 minutes from Randle, this might come back to hit you because these guys are going to be a little tired. But the overall game today, I think they played pretty well. I think you guys can really look forward to Cam Reddish being a spitting image of RJ Barrett. He's going to, if you've just seen the little preview of it today, he's going to be doing just about everything that RJ Barrett do, which will give RJ a break. But you can't play these guys 43 and 40 minutes in a back-to-back and expect for them to come out and have, terrific games tomorrow. It's going to be a little tougher, especially against these gigantic guys in Cleveland. These guys are big. But just wanted to touch on that. Sam, I ain't going to hold you guys.
Yeah.
I just thought you guys would check that out.
Okay, Mark, let me ask you one question about that, though. At what point, let's say the Knicks were 10 games above 500, right? Or something like that. I could really understand saying, okay, you know what? We can afford to only give these guys 30 minutes because we got a game tomorrow night. And, if we end up dropping one, but at this point in the season, right now, this game in particular, like each game for the New York Knicks is a necessity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I do understand
and the game is still in the balance.
But here's the deal. Tomorrow's game a necessity also.
It is.
It really is. Now, here's the thing on that. This is the overall view. Remember I told you my overall view is this whole year. The NBA season is long. Now, when you start playing 43 minutes, 40 minutes, I look back at the stats of those games when you guys lost those 3 straight. The game before the back-to-back, Barrett and Randle each had 38, 39 minutes. The following game, they don't perform as well. I'm not saying it's not essential to win these games. I know it is. But you have to manage. Tibbs go deep in his team. You guys go way deeper than my Bulls. You can give, there's no reason, and I believe this, truthfully, First of all, Barrett shot 9 out of 24 today. Could have definitely rested him for a little while. He wasn't shooting that well. If not, just get him over there and speak with him a second and take a couple of minutes off of it. But I understand you need him, and I understand the severity of winning each and every game. But I say this, tomorrow's game is very important also. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are going to have a bad game tomorrow, but what I'm saying is this really affects their game when they play, not only just this game tomorrow, but the entire season. It affects them. And I don't know if you guys agree, but that's just my thought.
No, I agree. I agree. It does. I just know that there's at some point, because I don't think he trusts Obi.
Oh yeah,
So-
you're right.
so Randle's
but you
gonna
have
play.
to in these senses, Sam. You have to. I mean, first of all, you need to develop him. First and second of all, man, here's the thing, and also not cutting off that issue. I want all these callers to understand one thing. If you trade Randle, the next time he comes to play against the Knicks, you're going to wish you didn't. Now, mind you, this guy is still averaging 19 and 10.
Uh-huh.
He's going to do he won't be crazy then when he come back to New York to play if you guys trade him. I really believe, but and in Obi's case, play him, man. I mean, good or bad, play him. You got to play these guys. Randle wasn't good when he first started. Nobody was just There's very few players who came. The only player that I looked at the stats, to me, the only player that I noticed that has been almost magnificent since the start is Joel Embiid. If you look at his numbers, he averaged 20 as a rookie, and he's steadily rising. But that's rare. If you give these guys a chance, including Obi, I really believe Obi could play well in this. Tibbs he's just too fat-headed, man. He won't try nothing. And to give these guys 43 and 40 minutes tomorrow, I'm not saying it's going to show, but it very well could.
No, it could. You're right. It could. There's no doubt about it. It could.
Yeah.
Marvin, I appreciate your insight always.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and I love calling in, Sims. I think you guys do a great job, man. You know, I like this Knicks team, man. You know, I love the passion that, I said that before, the passion of the fans and you guys. But I really want people to start understanding that a lot of things that go on, including Randle not coming to the press conferences and everything, that was a Knicks thing. That was not Randle.
No, that's true.
That had to do with the organization.
It had to do with the organization.
People get on Randle about a lot of things that is not in his control. And as far as his mental health, it very well could be going through something. But then you see the good Randle tonight, and everybody still want to keep it.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Hey, Marvin, I appreciate you, man.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
for
Y'all
the
have
call.
a good show.
And Randle did make it to the press conference tonight after the Knicks got fined $25,000. Right, so let's hear what Julius Randle had to say about the game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is Julius Randle in his first press conference in, I think, 7-8 games.
That this team did very effectively today. What stands out to you about what was most effective about this win?
I think just our togetherness on both sides of the ball. They made runs, ups and downs in the game, but shared the ball pretty well and defended. After halftime, I think we defended pretty well. Reggie Jackson was hurting us a little bit, but figured that out a little bit, and then just was solid. I think we were really solid throughout the game.
With the offense, the starters, there was a lot of chemistry, a lot of ball movement going on. But when both you and RJ are scoring as effectively as you are, how do you see the defense shift in order to try to pick up both of you the way they do?
It's tough. When we definitely it's tough when we both got it going because we can really play off each other, and then we can help others. Put others in. Get easier shots for Mitch and Evan, and then it's just chemistry. Everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's feeling good in their rhythm.
Big picture on this one, you're heading out on the road 3 games this week. You're home for 2, and then right back out on the road. How good was it to get this win today here and set things straight at the Garden?
Really good. We obviously didn't like how we played. Those earlier games at home, but played well today, and we are excited. To go on the road and just start building some momentum. We felt like we were playing well, and kind of got hit here at home after we were playing so well at home. But ended it right. Can't look back, and now we know we're looking forward to this road trip and taking it a game at a time.
What do you like about how you played today? It looked like the other night you looked a little tentative. Did you make some adjustments or different mindset?
What I liked about today was just very efficient and getting to my spots on the floor, and making quick decisions or just making an easy decision.
Kind of Tom just said, for you in particular, have to not look back and stuff and look ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of feeling that?
Yeah. For me personally, I try to take every day one at a time, and there's no point in looking back in the past. You learn from the past and stuff like that. But there's no point in looking back, and I really don't look ahead to the future, because that's the unknown. So for me, it's just about taking every day, getting better every day. Felt like us as individuals and as a team, we took a step forward today, and that's what matters.
Julius, RJ's had some really hot streaks and then kind of cooled off, gotten hot again. It's been 3 weeks now where he's been playing at a really high level. Do you see him doing stuff that he hasn't been doing over his first 2 years to kind of take that leap?
Just playing to his strengths. He's kind of figuring out who he is as a player, and he's playing to his strengths, and it makes us a really tough team when he plays like that.
The only blemish today, congratulations on the win, was the 7 turnovers. Right. It looked like a lot of them came off of double teams.
Right.
What's your assessment in terms of what the team has to do to capitalize when they come to double?
We work on it every day. It's just about cleaning it up and just making the right reads, stuff like that.
Juice, we haven't seen you in this room for a while. What was that about? Why weren't you coming to the room?
Just the team that make me available.
Right. For all those games?
What was your reaction to the comment?
Honestly, I appreciate Mr. Dolan. He's great. But like the reaction was just a team that make me available, and all I can do is my job as a player. A team to make me available, and that's it.
All right, thanks, Julius.
All right, you heard it there, ladies and gentlemen. The team didn't make him available. That question was going to come, and I'm pretty sure he was well prepared for that. They asked him about the turnovers and 7 turnovers, and I really wanted to hear him say, I need to get the ball out of my hands quicker when that double team comes. I didn't hear him say that. It's just kind of like, we got to clean it up. We work on it every day, but I want to hear him. I want him to know, what it is that he's doing wrong when that double team comes. You know what I'm saying? And why there are a lot of turnovers when it comes to that double team. And sometimes it makes me question whether or not the coaching staff, was telling these players. I mean, listen, we're not the coaching staff, but some of the same things that we see, at least. You know what I mean? I don't know, but either way, good game from Julius Randle. Hopefully, it's going to firestart him. You know what I mean? Firestart him. The NBK player of the game, ladies and gentlemen, is RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett had a good game today. 28 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. Shot 37.5% from the field. He shot 60% from the three-point line, 100% from the free throw line. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is the Thrive Fantasy player of the game. Go to thrivefantasy.com and use the code NBK and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's on your first deposit, ladies and gentlemen. That's RJ Barrett. Steph, question about RJ Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see him slowly becoming the leader of this team?
It's too early, Sam, for me, and I want to be consistent because I said the same thing with Randle last year. I think that I like what I see. I think his approach is consistent, and it wouldn't surprise me if next year this time, after going through the playoffs and playing well, if that is the case. But I think that potential is definitely there in him. But after 2-3 weeks, I'm just not ready to say so just yet. But he's definitely trending in that direction.
Yeah. Do you think that he'll remain, because, being the leader and, being the highest scorer, kind of two different things. Do you think he'll remain the highest scorer for a little while?
He might, because Randle is so inefficient. Well, RJ is inefficient as well. I think between them, those two, it depends on who's shooting better that night. Who's more efficient that night. But, they're both inefficient shooters who can have efficient nights. But he definitely can become our leading scorer. I think the other thing I just want to put out there is, and this is hopefully answering Andrew Nash's question with his super chat.
Yeah.
I like the way both of them are playing together. I just like the way they are playing off of each other. I think that makes the Knicks a much more dangerous team. And I think you can't underestimate, I learned this new word on Twitter, the gravity of Randle. How, because of who he is and the attention he draws, that makes it easier for RJ as well.
Right.
If it was just RJ and teams were game planning against him, it would be a little harder for him.
Yeah.
So having Randle on the court does open things up for him. Not to take anything away from what he's doing, but a lot of it is also because of the presence of Randle. It's different when you that guy and they're game planning for you. So I just like the way they played, especially today, off of each other.
Yeah, definitely. And big shout out to Andrew Nash. He asked the question, well, he said, thank you for the super chat, by the way. He said, I mentioned the other day, after going to the Hornets game, the offense runs smoother when the offense runs through RJ. I said the offense should go through RJ, and Steph didn't totally agree. I want to know her opinion and why not. So hopefully she already answered that question for you. Because in the same way, I do like that, the way that they can play off of each other. I would still like to see them play with each other a little bit more, some screen and rolls together, or a few more screen and rolls or pick and pop or, those type of things together. But when they're both scoring and you can have a threat on either side of the floor, man, does that change the way that your offense can look?
Yeah. And when you say play through, does that mean that RJ is always handling and playmaking? And that's why I was trying to get clarification. And the only thing Randle is not touching the ball at all, only, when he gets it, in the post, like he's not doing any playmaking. Is that what people want? I just like the way it was today, where they was just kind of interchanging, but he got to keep those turnovers down. 7. And listen,
7.
There was a few games when RJ had 6 and 7.
Right. Exactly.
Though he did better these past 2 games. Both of them have to keep the turnovers down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because the Knicks only had 13 turnovers on the day.
Right.
And Randle had 7 of them joints.
Oof. Yeah.
And it really is all about, most of his turnovers come out of those double teams. It really is all about just getting that ball out of his hands quicker. He's holding it, waiting for that perfect pass to open up. Sometimes it's not going to open up. Sometimes you just got to pass it to whoever's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And get the play restarted. But speaking of RJ Barrett, who is the ThriveFantasy.com player of the game, let's hear RJ and his thoughts on today's game.
For you guys, with what you have ahead of you here, this, I guess 8 out of the next 10 on the road, how important was it to get back on track here at home today?
8 out of the next 10.
8 out of 10.
I think it was great. To bounce back. We had, three tough ones in a row. A couple that we should have won. So to just be able to come in and bounce back and just play well, really from start to finish like we did today. It was a great feeling and, something that we can replicate and, hopefully get something like that tomorrow.
RJ, you're pretty calm on the court, but today you got a tech. What sparked it? What got you over that line today?
What is that? Second, third, 1, 2?
It's only tech 2 or 3.
2, something like that. No, I think they were being really aggressive. I think especially towards the second quarter, they were really aggressive. I think they were, hitting us all game and kept saying something, and then, I felt like I wasn't, getting the calls. But, I'm normally a pretty calm guy. I just had a heat of moment. I am human. So, actually, I apologize to the ref. And we just, we move forward.
Your usage rate has gone up this season, especially lately. Do you feel a lot more comfortable being that featured guy?
I think just being aggressive, naturally, the ball, I think the ball finds you. So whether it's also today I got 14 rebounds, so that that gives you the ball. So just being aggressive, really.
You had a stretch though, I think late. You guys were up 7. You got an offensive rebound, found Julius, and then next play found Evan in the corner. Just kind of feel more comfortable doing that kind of orchestrating things a little.
Yeah, for sure. We practice that stuff every day. Rebound, dagger out for a 3, and Evan cut through. Julius swung it to me. One more to Evan in the corner. Evan was making his shots today, making some big shots. So it's stuff that we work on and we're able to execute it today.
RJ, you're obviously still very young, but do you feel like you've already arrived at a point in your career where you can, if need be, carry this team consistently at a high level and do that? Do you think you still have to grow into that kind of play?
I don't feel like I've done anything so far. It's my mindset. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for more. I want more. For the team, but for myself as well. I think that if I continue to be aggressive, like I've been, past couple of games, like I was tonight, I think anything's possible. I want to continue to be able to make plays like I did today and score and defend and rebound. Really do it all out there on the court for the team and kind of be the guy that does whatever the team needs.
What was it like watching Cam get his first basket as a man?
It was great. It was great. And it was a great move. I was happy for him just to, see him out there and see my Duke brother out there, going and doing his thing.
RJ, you took 16, 17 shots in the paint tonight. I feel like that might be sort of got to be a season high for you, right? What were you seeing that allowed you to just get there so much?
I think being comfortable going right, accepting the ice, and snaking it or, just going right, just really being aggressive, trying to, like Coach says, impose your will onto the game.
RJ, you've spent your whole career next to Julius. Tom said, I guess yesterday and today, for him not to be distracted, not look back. Did you see him today seeming different at all to you?
He was great. He was great. From start to finish, he really got us going early. He had some assists early and had some buckets early too. So it was really great just from start to finish. Him, also just everybody.
When you say replicate, RJ, like you think you can replicate what you guys did today, tomorrow. What are the things that you're specifically talking about?
I know we really made a lot of threes, but it was the way that we generated those threes. They were good shots. It was unselfish drive, make the right play, and then it's easy to knock those down. So I think not replicating making all the threes, or I think being able to replicate moving the ball, making the right play, playing together, being aggressive, and having just that positive energy to start the game.
When you look at this trip, I mean, it's Cleveland, which did well here, Miami, Milwaukee. I mean, how is this going to be a little bit of a sign on where you guys are, this road trip coming up?
We've been really good on the road. I think that's one thing about us. Also, we don't care. I think we could beat anybody. I think we could beat anybody anywhere. So we believe that, and I think that we're going to be able to show that.
How are you feeling throwing those lobs to Mitch now?
Sorry?
How are you feeling throwing those lobs to Mitch now?
Man, I want to get big fella involved. I want to get big fella involved. I do a better job of reading it sometimes, but even if he doesn't dunk it initially, man, he's really tough to stop when he catches the ball in there, and he's dunking on everybody.
All right, thanks, Roger.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. You can subscribe to the New York Knicks to get more videos, interviews, so on and so forth. Steph, you heard Mark Berman ask about this 3-game stretch we got coming up. the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks. Man, it's a tough stretch. It's definitely a tough stretch. How do you can the Knicks win 2? You muted, Steph.
Milwaukee, Miami, and Cleveland, right?
Yep. Well, we'll start with Cleveland. We start with Cleveland tomorrow night. Then I think it's Miami.
I think it's going to be tough, Sim. It's going to be tough. And our chances dwindle if Kemba go back in that starting lineup, in my opinion, because the chemistry is just not there. And our chances dwindle if Mitch doesn't make, one of those games. But I agree with RJ. I just really love to hear him talk. I agree that the Knicks can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just which Knicks team is going to show up. There's some games you watch the Knicks, you be like, wow, this can be a really good team. And then other times you watch them, you be like, we don't have nobody. We don't have nobody. So it depends on which team. I think 2 is going to be tough, though, to be honest. I think we go 1-2 this upcoming week.
Yeah. And right now, the Boston Celtics, they're winning over the Wizards 91-69. Right now, the Knicks and the Celtics are both 23-24. If the Celtics were to lose that game, the Knicks would move into the 10th spot. If the Wizards lose, they're going to drop down into the 10th spot, and the Wizards and the Celtics are going to move up into the 9th spot, I believe. Still, the Knicks lost their first game to the Washington Wizards, so they would still remain on the outside looking in tonight.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Cleveland, they're 28-19. Milwaukee is 30-19. And Miami is 29-17. Three very, very tough games. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 7-3 in their last 10. Miami Heat, they're 6-4 in their last 10. The Milwaukee Bucks, they're 5-5 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is out for Miami, but what I've been seeing with Miami, it's just really next man up.
Right. So, it's going to be a tough one. Let's start with Cleveland, though. Just, quick thought about this Cleveland team and, just some ideas on what do the Knicks need to do coming into this game.
They need to box out. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, how can we win? How can we win this one?
Well, if we don't out-rebound them, we can't get totally dominated on the boards. They have a big lineup and points in the paint. We have to be close. I'm not saying we might not win it, but we have to be close. And Garland is playing well, actually. He's the only real point guard they got. Rubio is out. Sexton is out, and they brought in Rondo, and he's out with an injury. So we're going to see a lot of Garland, and he's just really blossoming and coming into his own. I'm hoping the size of Burks slows him down a little bit, but it's going to be a tough game. And Mobley. You can argue he's just as good as anybody we have, any big we have, the way he's been playing on both ends of the floor. So I think it's going to be a tough game. It's doable. RJ has to be efficient. Randle has to show up and be efficient. Fournier has to hit his shots. And then we need something from a few other players as well.
Yeah. And look, they're going to be, the teams are pretty different from the first time they played. They played earlier, November the 7th. And Cleveland won the game 126-109. Ricky Rubio had 37 points that game. Obviously, he's not playing, but he had 37 points and 10 assists. He was 8 for 9 from the three-point line. He was 13 for 19 from the field. And Darius Garland, though, he had 16 points and 5 assists. Jared Allen had 18 points and 17 rebounds. Evan Mobley had 26 points. He was 2 for 4 from the three-point line and 11 for 15 from the field. He had 5 assists to go along with it. For the Knicks, Julius Randle had 19, 7 and 7. He didn't really shoot well. After that, RJ, he only had 6 points. RJ's playing, hopefully he's playing much differently now. Fournier had 15. Derrick Rose, he was starting at point guard. He had 17. Alec Burks had 10. Emmanuel Quickly, 12. Obi Toppin had 11. Two teams that are very different from the first time they played, so it's hard to say exactly, what it could look like, but the Knicks going to have to come out and play some ball. Yeah, they had to play some ball. They're going to have to hit those boards, too. Nikki B. from Harlem, he said, RJ and Julius have played well together in recent weeks. Imagine if we surround Julius and RJ with 3-and-D players at the point, the wing, and the center spots. Yeah, I agree with you right there. I would like to see the point guard be a little bit more than just a 3-and-D guy, somebody who can facilitate and lead. I'd like to see him be able to do that. But I definitely get your point. Definitely get your point. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Steph, I don't know if you have any last words.
Go Knicks.
Yeah, let's get it. Look, we will be back tomorrow doing a game preview and then, of course, a post-game show. So make sure you check us tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And you're doing the Queen's Court on Tuesday?
No, Sam, I can only do it Monday. So I was going to talk to you about it 6 o'clock. But depends on what time you're doing your pregame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably doing a pregame because I got practice at 5 o'clock. So I'm doing a pregame 3:30.
So I was thinking 6 to 7, just an hour right before the game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That'd be good. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll get that squared away. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Check us out. We'll have a full slate of shows tomorrow. So make sure you're there, ready to go. We're up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Nick.